this is a real famous story that a lot of people have heard. It's kind of definitely caught some media attention. There's lots of YouTube videos about it, lots of TikTok stories and things like that. It's probably one of the more famous cave rescue tragedies that have happened. But we're talking 2009 in Utah. There was this cave. It's called Nutty Putty Cave. And this guy, John Edward Jones, he was a 26-year-old medical student. He went on a trip into this cave. I believe he had been there before, but there were multiple passages in this cave, and he was looking for a particular passage called the birth. I thought it was the birth canal.
The birth
Yeah, that map you're looking at says the birth control. But the birth canal is a typical name in a lot of caves because we're talking about a tight squeeze. A lot of people pop through these things like, I feel like I've been born again.
Watch what you read, people. So I found one that has the birth canal. Yeah. That's what it's known as?
Yeah, the birth canal. So he was looking for this particular passage called the birth canal. And this cave was, like I said, small, crawling around probably, 2 foot by 3 foot sort of passages, especially this part of the cave where John was. So he was crawling along and he ended up in a side passage parallel to where the birth canal was, and ended up kind of in a position where his head was downhill. So his feet were up over his head. He was kind of head first crawling down into this spot, and it just kept getting tighter and tighter and tighter until it kind of, just like you see in the picture there, it couldn't go no more. It just ended. And the orientation he was in, he couldn't just back himself out and squeeze himself out of there. He was stuck there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And I known people that this has happened to. I was just talking to a friend of mine the other night.
This right here?
Yeah, and I was telling him about coming on here and telling him what we were going to talk about, and he was telling me about he was caving in Tennessee one time and got stuck in a position kind of like that, and they had to bring in ropes and rig a mechanical advantage system and pull him out of that spot. He said he was in there for about 3 hours. This guy spent 27 hours in this spot.
Oh my goodness. Just head down, blood rushing to his head.
Mm-hmm.
My, see this, I'm just a doomsday person. This is automatically what I think I'm going to do if I go anywhere.
That's why you got to go with somebody that knows the cave. Right?
Exactly. Well, I know enough to know I wouldn't have went through the beginning of this, but I understand the adrenaline and the exploration part of it. But man, this is just terrifying.
Well, and here's the thing, I don't mind getting to a tight spot and doing a little squeeze, but in the back of my mind, this little voice always like laughs at me and says, ha ha ha, you can't stand up. Ha ha ha. And sometimes that like, oh no, I can't stand up. And like, I got to like suppress that voice and like, tell it to shut up.